So during my quarantine today, which isn't technically a full quarantine, as I did go out for a walk, I decided it would be nice to get outside for a little bit, and I found something fantastic. So I came across this shelf, which I figured would make a nice little gaming shelf, but it's beat to hell and back, which is kind of fine as it is free. But when you turn it over and look at the back of it, it's a bit worse than you would expect, as the back panel has been completely torn off at the top, which again is fine. I mean, it's a free shelf. We can work with this, right? They tried to peel off the label and failed, so we have a half-torn label on here because they installed the backing backwards. It's covered in this weird white stuff. The shelves are nice and beat up. This is the exact quality I really want to have in my gaming setup. Now, when you go to remove these shelves, you'll notice that there are 3 pegs there for stability. If you had 4, it'd be a little too stable. I think 3 is just the perfect amount for the top 2 shelves to have. No issue there. So then the question is, what can we do to fix up this shelf? Well, that's pretty easy. First, you use your phone to start recording things because you don't want to look like a weirdo. When you go back outside, you go to the same pile of trash to look for a nice piece of cardboard to use for the new backing. Now, obviously, you're going to want to move the exercise equipment out of the way, and you're gonna go ahead and look for a nice gaming chair box. I'm sure one of you guys will have this in your dump as well. As you know, it'll be next to the shelf. Make sure you get both of those from your dump. Now, if you're wondering why I picked the gaming chair box out of all of them, it's mostly because it was just large and easy to get to, but it's also more stable because the outside of it has like a harder, like thicker, almost like a plasticky-like outside to it. Now, as this was like 7 in the morning, it was nice and wet from all of the morning dew on the grass, so we need to wipe it down if we want it to actually be installed anywhere. It still is a little wet by the time I got done wiping it down, but it works. It'll be fine. Now see, the issue with some of these gaming chair boxes is that they use these heavy staples to like hold the sides together. So instead of trying to just pull those out, we'll just rip the box apart. And here's where you can see just how weak I really am when I am struggling to pull staples out of cardboard. Yeah, keep it going, buddy. You're almost there. Yep, just keep pulling. Oh, there you go. Look at you, you're stronger than staples. So now we have to actually remove the backing itself, which is pretty simple. You just kind of pull on it. You don't really need much. You're fighting cardboard. I mean, I struggle with it because evidently I am weaker than cardboard, but I'm sure most of you all are not. So now we just take the hammer and start pulling out all of the little nails that are in the back. If you're smart, you'll try not to bend the nails like I did, and that way you can reuse them with your new backing. If you're dumb like me, then we have another solution. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You see, most boxes don't like it when you cut them. They'll actually tell you that themselves. But you must remember that it is cardboard, and it can't really do much to stop you. So we're just going to cut off these flaps because they're just going to get in the way. We don't need those. So now we get down to the real fun work. Now, normally I would say get a Sharpie, but you could also use an out of focus pen. That works as well. All you gotta do is lay your shelf down, trace along the cardboard, and then proceed to cut it all out. Now once again, you can see what I mean by the front layer is actually kind of thick on this thing. Going all the way through it with a box cutter still didn't manage to actually cut through that part, so I have to fold it over and cut it again in order to actually get through that. So apparently it's actually pretty stable. So now what's the best thing to make this not look like complete trash and not like you used a gaming box chair to make a shelf? Well, you could try spray painting it, which would be nice if I didn't live in a small apartment and have nowhere safe to spray paint, nor am I probably allowed to do so. However, if you go into the closet that everybody has that is full of cables, parts, and tools, and for some reason the occasional full computer, you might find some vinyl wrap in there. Now, of course, this vinyl wrap is super wrinkled up and beat to hell because you only bought it for one use case, and now you have a giant roll that you've slowly been using over the years for small little dumb projects because you just want to get rid of the thing and don't really care about it. Now, most professionals would tell you when it comes to wrapping something with vinyl that you want to have a clean, smooth, flat surface to do it on, and that you very slowly apply it. However, those guys don't know what they're talking about. I think if we do it on beat up cardboard that's been sitting at the dump for the last week, and just throw it on there, it'll work fine. So just start peeling all of the backing off. You should definitely do this. Just take the backing all off in one go. Why would you need the backing in the first place? It's not necessary. Now after that, sit there and figure out exactly how you want the cardboard to sit on the backing, and then decide, you know what, this isn't going to work, and lean it up and decide to try and do it while it's up on, out of frame of the camera. then say, never mind, that idea was worse than my original one, and go back to the original idea of just throwing the cardboard down onto the vinyl because it's faster and it's too early in the morning for you to care. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Yes, there are a fair amount of wrinkles on this side due to my beautiful application process, but it's okay because when you look at the other side, there are a shit ton more wrinkles. Now don't start getting self-conscious about your wrinkles. You're beautiful. Your wrinkles just add more personality. Remember that part about not bending the nails? Yeah, that's where this kind of comes into play. Turns out I didn't have any other small nails that you should be using for backing like this. But what I did have was small screws and a really cheap corded drill. So now that you have it screwed in place, you're probably going to have some more cardboard and some more vinyl to cut that's sticking up too far. That's fine. And there we go. Now we have a nice backing to our shelf. So I know what you're thinking. We're probably done, right? Wrong. We still have those disgusting shelves to fix. So once again, you just want to cut off a piece of vinyl that is just slightly bigger than the itself. That's a hard sentence to say. And then work on just smoothing it out with your Dave & Buster's play card that you haven't used in over a year. So now we have 4 shelves done. Yeah, I know, we had 5 shelves, but now we have 4. I only want to use 4 of them, alright? And I didn't feel like wrapping the extra one. So now we have the issue of the missing pegs. As much as I like only using 3 pegs instead of 4, we might as well go ahead and complete it and just add 4th pegs to those 2 top shelves. So all you gotta do is go find your pieces of furniture that you didn't use all the pegs on, and that you kept hoarding because you don't know how to get rid of things that aren't important anymore. So it turns out these little pegs I happen to have are the exact same size that I need for these shelves once you remove the rubber pieces, which actually worked out pretty well. I was kind of happy about that. So then you start working on putting the shelves in, which is actually harder to do than you would think, as you did cover the sides in vinyl as well, even though it wasn't necessary, and now it's a very tight fit. Congratulations, you now have a complete, really bad looking shelf. Now if you're wondering where I got the games to put on the shelf, they came from the one next to it, because I actually don't even have enough games to put on the shelf yet, and it's more just for future proofing, I suppose? I don't know, I was bored, it was something to do. And yeah, that's it. So now, when you see this shelf behind me on streams and videos, you can go, hey, I have the exact same thing, because they also had one at the dumpster outside of my apartment, as well as a gaming chair, and all of the other tools required just happened to be in my junk closet. If you guys enjoyed this weird video, feel free to give it a like and a subscription and all that fun stuff, and hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Bye.